This is Rogers TV.
Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. So this is episode 1 of season 3. Welcome back, and I want to welcome the kids back to school. Our parents going, woohoo, they're back. Or maybe you're sad too, you know, summer is almost over. So we have some adjustment to do. And, you know, I also want to remind you to review with your kids, use the crosswalks, so to be really safe going to school. Now, today's episode, we're talking about the aftermath of the tornado. So Deputy Mayor and Ward 4 Councillor Willie Popp will be talking about all the things that the town has been undergoing and where they are with those projects. We're also talking to Ashley Woodhams, whose family was really impacted by the tornado. They lost their whole home. So we're going to talk about how the community has been supporting her, how her family has been surviving, and where they're at right now. So make sure you keep on watching. And at the end of the show, I'll let you know how you can be on the show, because we have a whole season to fill up, and this is for you and your community. So stay tuned for that. So we'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Make sure you keep on watching.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
You should expect to take the occasional fall when you're paddleboarding, so always have your tether attached. If you lose your balance, aim for the side so that you fall into the water. To get back on your board from the side, pull yourself aboard while remaining in the prone position. Once aboard, reorient yourself so that you're facing the front of the board. Then, using your paddle to brace yourself, get up to your knees and then stand.
Knights of Columbus TV Bingo every Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on Rogers TV, with a guaranteed $5,000 grand prize jackpot on the full card winner. Every week, 7 p.m. Tuesdays, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So with me on the show is Willie Popp, who's the Deputy Mayor and Councillor for Ward 4. Welcome, Willie.
Thank you for having me.
It's really good to have you on the show.
It's so nice to see you again.
So we are talking about the aftermath of the tornado. It really impacted a lot of Uxbridge.
It most definitely has.
Yeah, so the town has been really busy fixing up various things. So can we talk about the arena first? Where are we at with the arena?
So the arena, most of the repairs that were, inside have been done, with the exception of a couple different things. So the HVAC for the community center has been ordered, but we're still waiting for that to come in. So that'll be repaired in the near future. We do have some water damage in some of the offices as well as a result of what happened with the roof. So they're repairing that too. From the tree side, specifically on the east side of the building where all those beautiful trees came up.
So many trees came down, yeah.
Right. So there's, most of those have been taken out. The stumps have been done. We're starting to look at replacing those trees. So they're doing locates and figuring that out within the area too. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're, a lot of it is underway, and there has been some significant progress there. Ice is in, and we're moving forward.
Good. That's exciting. Now, what about the museum? So what was the building that was damaged at the museum?
So that's the lodge hall that was had the damage done to it. We actually currently still have a tree that is inhabiting that space in the middle of it.
Any squirrels, chipmunks in there too?
Well, I'm sure there's probably a couple critters that are trying to make their way in to have some space, at least with a little protection from the elements. We're looking to get that out of there within the next week. And along with that, we still don't have any definite plans on what the rebuilding will be, but we are rebuilding that.
Okay, that's exciting then. What about a lot of sidewalks have been lifted up as trees came out? So what is the plan with the sidewalks? So
with sidewalks, we do have a contractor that looks after that on behalf of the township. Currently, where the trees have uprooted, Public Works is working on getting that looked after. And we're also, as I mentioned, we're looking at the replacement of trees is ongoing. So we're doing staking of that, doing locates to put that in. Our contractor, where these trees have uplifted the sidewalks, where there is an upheaval of that, we will be replacing those as well. So that work is underway.
Wow, so busy. All right, and the train station had quite a bit of damage.
It did.
Can you talk about the damage that happened at the train station and then where we're at with the...
Well, certainly, the York-Durham Heritage Railway has sustained a big hit to a lot of their property within that space. The township owns the train station that is there, and it is a heritage building, so we have looked into the heritage side of it. We want to replace properly. We have ordered windows to replace those that have been blown out, and unfortunately we're looking at a 6 to 8 month replacement delivery time to have those happen. So the good part is that we want to do it right and acknowledge the heritage side of it. The bad news is that it's going to take us some time. We still have some shingling to do in the fall as well. Jumping back to YDHR, it looks like they're the little railroad that could, and they're already looking to get back on track and doing their programming, which is great for the township.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, and bring the tourism back into that area of the town. That's great. Mm-hmm. So with all this work that's going on, I'm sure it's impacted the regular work that normally needs to happen within the town. Can you talk about that particular impact?
Yes, it has been difficult because through the summer months there is significant work that is done by both the Parks Department and Public Works. So with Parks, where they would normally be paying attention to all things mowing, looking after pieces there, looking at trees that were non-hazard, mm-hmm. and getting those looked after, whether it's trimmed, replaced, etc., to dealing with fences that from residential properties that are abutting up against township property too. So we're still hearing from residents as they work through their insurance companies and those pieces that there are some fence work to do. Looking at Public Works has been doing all those things from grounding down stumps, getting care of all these hazardous trees, even fixing up some of the road pieces. We are behind on our ditching and culvert work, which helps keep our roads in place. So we're working hard to catch up, but it's hard when this happened May the 21st and it sets you back a fair way when we're still looking at a lot of the things that we've already discussed that as work that we have to complete.
Wow. Now, I hope you don't mind me asking this. The church, Trinity United Church, they had a significant hit, huge hole in their roof. And every time I drive past, it's so sad seeing it that way. Do you have any idea what's going on for them and what their progress is?
It is heartbreaking because it is was such a beautiful building,
yeah.
and was part of our city's or our township scape that was beautiful. I haven't heard anything of news from the building department lately, but I do know that they do have some serious challenges ahead of them, and to understand where they're going with the building, they have to, with the top, as you mentioned, with the roof, they have to look down as deep as the foundation to understand what the long-term impacts are. Mm-hmm. And I think with that in mind, that to get to that space, they have to work through a couple different options to see, and some of them include having to take down some of the top of that structure to get down to the foundation to have a review of it. So it's heartbreaking because it is such a beautiful building. It is an important piece of our past,
yeah.
and they've got some really difficult decisions to make there. So I think the Township Building Department is working diligently with them,
okay.
and we'll do our best to support them any way we can.
Okay. Willie, thank you so much for being on the show and providing the community those important updates. And we'll be back. We'll have you on the show again, no doubt.
Thank you. Well, it's always a pleasure, Jackie. You do represent our town so well, so thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
The world's most famous Canadian, Grey Owl, just back from the triumphant British tour, is to be a reluctant guest at a gathering of First Nations.
Archie, you may not realize this, but right now you are the most famous Red Indian in the world. These are your people. You have to be there. Come on, Harold, let's go.
Sure, I'm sure. His name is Archie Bellini, and if he's a Red Indian, I'm the King of China.
It is an honor to meet the man called Grey Owl, who has brought much respect for our people.
Imposter, rascal, dreamer, and yet the Englishman who called himself Grey Owl awoke the whole world to our vanishing wilderness.
My brother says, men become what they dream. You have dreamed well.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So with me on the show is Ashley Woodhams, who is a resident of Uxbridge and her and her family was really impacted by the tornado. So Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you weren't home when the tornado hit. Can you tell everyone where you were and when you got the call?
Yeah, absolutely. We decided that we were going to have our nice romantic getaway down to Niagara-on-the-Lake. First one since COVID, so we were really excited and we drove down. At about 1:30, we got a frantic phone call from my neighbor saying, "You need to come home now, tornado hit." And I said, is the house still standing? And she said, "Barely."
I have goosebumps right now. That's quite the call to get. Yeah.
I thought she was joking at first. Me and my husband were going, "No," and I'm like, "Well, she can't be joking about a tornado. Like something's, you know." Yeah. And I tried to call back, and then all the phone systems were not working. So it was tough. So we back in the car and back home we went. And
what did you see when you got home?
As we were driving into town, you know, it's like it's not that bad. You know, we're coming up Bloomington. We're like, it's not that bad. We came up Concession 6, and we're like, there's a couple trees, you know, there's a couple trees down. We passed the arena and we're like, okay, it's getting progressively worse. Yeah. We turned onto Railway Street and it was just horrendous, horrendous.
Did you see Slabtown first or what? No, I'm trying to picture the street.
No, we looked down the road to see Second Wedge, and we saw that it
sorry,
was.
I meant Second Wedge. Oh, that's terrible. Gave Slabtown a little bit of a pitch there. Yeah.
We saw it and we're like, holy! And then we turned down to our street, which is Railway. Then it turns into King Street West.
Yeah.
And the police weren't letting us through, and my house is there, I'm going. Yeah. And they let us drive, and the wires on the ground, the cars flipped over, and then our house just looked like a tornado hit it. It was awful to see.
So what did you see? What was down?
Oh, every window was blown out of our house. There was a gaping hole in the side of the house where there was no window before, but now there's an entrance. The tree was down, half the roof was gone, my skylight was gone, siding off, like everything was just, it looked just a mess, just mangled.
At what point were you able to go through the wreckage to see what was left? Like, what of all of your memories, what of your furniture, and how was that whole experience?
That was tough. I had my construction boots with me, my hard hat. I suited up and I went in just to check out everything, and shattered glass everywhere, all the paintings that we had on the walls and pictures smashed on the floor, some destroyed, some salvageable. From that day, moving forward for a week, we were going in very carefully because it was quite unsturdy, and just grabbing what we could, packing everything in whatever box you could find, and praying for the best.
Okay, I'm getting emotional. It's also that time of month. Hopefully I can say that. Yeah, that would have been, at what point did you bawl? Like,
it took a little while for it to hit. You know, I have a family, so, you know, as a mom, you have to be strong.
Right.
So
just gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
Yeah.
Here are my kids, and okay, let's go in, let's get our stuff. And it took, honestly, I had a little cry that day, but it took a while before it actually set in that we no longer can live in our house. Our home is gone. You know, we were able to quickly find a rental, but you know, to move your family into some place that you don't know, that's not yours. It was tough. It was tough. So there's been a lot of tears.
Are you still in that rental right now? It wasn't a short-term rental. Can you be in this rental until your house is fully rebuilt?
We are one of the lucky ones that is able to have this rental until we need. I can't say that's for everybody in Uxbridge, and there's been a lot of people that either are still homeless, so to speak, that are in hotels or B&Bs. Some people were able to find accommodations. Some just found them at the end of August, and have moved in as far as, you know, Sunderland. Some people I found out are in Stouffville, so still close, but not home.
Right. Are you feeling your rental is feeling like home for you right now, you and your family?
Ish, but it's still not yours.
Yeah.
So when you go from owning your home and then going into a rental, it's not yours. It's not our place. You know, we didn't have, we couldn't bring our couch that we used to snuggle on, right? We have a borrowed couch now. Our bed couldn't be reused. It was covered in glass. So it's, you know, it's not that same comfort feeling. It is home, but it's not our home.
Right. We're going to be talking more about this after the break, okay? We'll talk about how the community assisted you. We'll talk about, the various supports that have been coming out for you, and then the various issues that you've heard from other families and what they're going through. Okay, so we'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home safely. We don't want to pick you up. Drinking drivers risk injuries to themselves and others and take chances with their license, their jobs, and their future. Remember what's at stake and choose your ride, whether you're the driver, the passenger, or the party host. Thanks for supporting sober driving. I hope we never meet.
Visit arrivallive.org to find out more.
Hi, I'm Angel Morgan, host of Raising Energy on Rogers TV. Join us each week as we are back in the studio doing live psychic readings. I work with guides, guardians, angels, archangels. I'm a free-for-all. I even bring through animals and messages from loved ones to bring you closure. Check out rogerstv.com/raising energy for our listings and airtimes and for your free tickets.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm with Ashley Woodhams, who her and her family have gone through, I can't even, so much. I'll just say so much being impacted by the tornado. And that's what we're talking about today, is the impact on her and her family, the impact on other community members in Uxbridge, and the support that you've been receiving. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Now, with you losing everything, how and luckily finding a rental unit, even before the tornado, it is incredibly hard to find a rental unit in Uxbridge. And so with you actually being so lucky to find a rental unit, how were you able, you didn't have clothes, you didn't have furniture, you didn't have kitchen supplies. What happened with that? And I know insurance companies don't necessarily act that quickly, and they're dealing with tons of families at this point. How did all that roll out for you?
The community is just so strong in Uxbridge. For a small town, for everybody to come out and show their support, from donations of clothing and toys for my young son, for kitchen appliances and pots and pans and couches, just donations from everybody was so heartwarming to know that there was nothing we could do. We had nothing. And everybody reached out, and all of a sudden we would get to our rental and there would be a bag of clothes on the porch. No name, no anything. It's there for us to have. And it was so lovely to have the support from everybody in the community.
I hope I don't start crying again. I'm not wearing waterproof mascara, but during the aftermath of the tornado, just walking around and seeing everyone out, cutting down trees and moving stuff and bringing people coffees and everything, and then you experienced, like, you had total endings and needing to start from scratch. So to have people, look at me, I'm going again, people coming out and offering their support must have just filled your heart so much when it was just so broken.
100%. Everybody in the community stepped up, not just for me, but for all the families around that were affected, whether you lost a shingle or a tree or your fence blew over or your house.
And everything in it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everybody was willing to help, and it was, are you okay? Anybody that you saw, are you okay? Yeah. And that just made you feel so much appreciation for our little town.
So good. How did your kids handle it? Especially your little one, your 6-year-old. How does your 6-year-old comprehend we've lost everything? How?
It was tough. He was 5 at the time, and he just turned 6, and It was a tornado. He still talks about the tornado. Again, we weren't home, so he didn't experience the storm. He just experienced the loss.
Okay.
Mommy, where are my toys? Mommy, can I get my toys back, my Paw Patroller? It was, you had to go through the motions and be strong for him and be strong for my teenagers. Okay, guys, we lost everything. It's gonna take a little while to get it back, but we're okay and we're safe.
Okay.
We are safe.
Now, being that your teens are, their brains are not fully developed until they're, depending male or female, 24 or like even 29. So that must have been really impactful on them.
We all had our tears, but they have been so strong.
Good.
They have been so strong, and they have helped my young one through everything, and I feel that we are so much closer as a family. We're no longer eating in front of the TV, we're sitting at the table and we're talking about things.
Nice.
And so with all of the destruction that this tornado caused, it really pulled us back together, which was really something to be proud of.
Yeah. Endings and new, stronger beginnings.
New beginnings.
So you had mentioned, we don't have a lot of time left, but I know you mentioned that there's a lot of people still displaced. And I understand that there were some families that were put at the Durham College residence, but now that school's starting, they're getting kicked out. So do you know what type of support they're getting? And have you heard, are there families that still have no place to go?
From what I've understood is that, a lot of people that are renting don't take out insurance. I must say this take out insurance.
Take out rental insurance.
Take out rental insurance. Right. They've been allowed into the buildings briefly to grab some of their personal belongings, but they've been displaced from the Durham College residents. Some of them gone into hotels. You know, and you can only afford that for so much, and especially if you don't have insurance. Some are in Airbnbs or regular B&Bs, and it's all out of pocket. They haven't heard from the apartment buildings. They don't know what's happening with the structure at all, and it's a day-to-day waiting game. It's horrid.
I hope they get the support that they need. I am so grateful that you came on the show. I'm hoping I'm not looking like Alice Cooper right now. Thanks for making me feel better about that one. But I'm glad you're getting on your feet.
Thank you.
So I wish all the families out there that have been impacted lots of love and support, and we'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Live.
The Canadian film and TV industry recognizes it's time to build a better workforce, which includes more opportunities for Black, Indigenous, and persons of color. HireBIPOC.com is here to help make this happen. Whether you're already in the business, trying to get a start, or in a position to hire, HireBIPOC.com could connect you to the right people. From script to development, production to post, distribution to marketing. Check out HireBIPOC.com now and help build a stronger industry together.
Hello, I'm Rob MacArthur, host and co-producer of Helping Durham Region. Join us as we shine the spotlight on Durham Region residents that are making a difference by helping other residents. That's Helping Durham Region, only on Rogers TV Durham.
Hello, I'm Judith Tate, host and producer of At the Heart of Business. Join me each week as we get to know women in business and learn all about their challenges and successes. That's At the Heart of Business, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Live. So, in regards to the tornado, there's been a lot of families who were impacted. And I was talking to Ashley after our interview about how when those tornado warnings come, there must be a lot of people who were at home during the tornado that are maybe even having PTSD. And so she said Durham Family Services has been an awesome resource. So if you are looking for some counseling, you can contact Durham Family Services and tell them that you were a part of the Uxbridge tornado. They have a GoFundMe. It's called Woodham's Tornado Relief. So if you're wanting to support Ashley and her family, you can support her through her GoFundMe. So again, that's Woodham's Tornado Relief. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back for more next week, Uxbridge Scugog Life. And you can send us an email, uxbridgescugoglife@rci.rogers.com if you want to be on the show. Bye.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
Ever wonder what stood right behind me 150 years ago? Here in Pickering, at the northwest side of Brock and Highway 7, stood the Brome Central Hotel. Today, this historic commercial enterprise is housed here at the Pickering Museum Village. Originally a home, this two-story building became a temperance hotel in 1850.
We prepared your usual private room.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure I'll sleep soundly tonight.
It was a resting place for travelers, and for 2 shillings and 6 pence, it also served as a meeting place for local council.
Ladies, the Township Council will be meeting very soon. We should retire.
Located at the epicenter of the township, the hotel was witness to a lot of the laws and infrastructure decisions that made Pickering what it is today.
You're watching Rogers TV.